Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's part 2 of Systems Failure. We're going to talk about all of the character classes you can play in this game and all of the bugs you are going to fight in this game. Because for everyone coming in with the idealistic notion that I'm the first bug ambassador, we can all be friends, you're going to be the first one that's going to have a bug in your brain. And that's it.
The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. Please follow that QR code or refer to the description below for the link to the charity we support, which is the Wounded Warrior Project. Thursdays and Saturdays, you can watch the Dirty Casuals on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. Fridays and Sundays, you can watch the Friday Night Chill Stream and RPG Digest on our YouTube and Rumble channels. Please leave us a comment with your thoughts and experiences, and if you like our gaming content, please be sure to subscribe to Legion of Myth.
All right, here we go. Now, we are going to talk about human O.C.Cs. These are, whoa.
The heck happened there?
I don't know, man.
What are you doing? I see what this, he's like trying to take over.
I don't know what happened. There, that's what I'm doing. We're going to talk about the human resistance first. These are the characters you can play in this post-apocalyptic wasteland against giant army of energy.
So I was told most of the characters are just mundane people trying to survive.
Most of them are. As a matter of fact, we'll just go right to it. Egghead O.C.C, Professor, Bookworm, or Space Cadet. These are all nicknames, obviously. Even in a world as devastated as this, let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit. Thank you. Even in a world as devastated as this one, invention, resourcefulness, and cutting-edge scientific research continues, and the eggheads are the one doing it. Most edge work, which did not age well, because now that's a sexual term, is sponsored by NORAD, one of the free Silicon Valley enclaves, or by a hidden independent research facility. Many sponsored eggheads generally stick close to their labs, crunching numbers, running experiments, little inclination to go out in the field. Besides, their sponsored organization probably values them too highly, let them wander the Badlands looking for trouble. Here's the thing. Scientists are a rare breed because they worked with electronics a whole lot, and they were the front line of people that died first. And they need electricity to continue their research into defeating the bugs. I mean, sure, you could make a new kind of gunpowder if you want. You don't need electricity for that, but that's not going to really help you so much. So, yes, eggheads are few and far between. Eggheads do not go out in the field because, you know, they die quick. They have no skill set for it. Why would you want to be an egghead? Well, no, usually if I were running it, this would be an NPC type thing that you bring finds to and stuff, but you can play it.
So this isn't even as cool as, say, like the Rogue Scholar or something in Rifts?
No.
Okay.
The Rogue Scholar can at least handle himself in obvious situations. The egghead cannot.
Okay.
Cannot. He is a scientist that, you know, just does his science thing and lets other people do the fighting. Speaking of that, we have the Exterminator. Every war has its soldiers, and the Exterminators are the best of the best when it comes to fighting bugs. Most were soldiers during the meltdown, but others are simply super tough survivors who have received some training in the formal military. Exterminators are a step up from survivalists in terms of their military quality, for these guys aren't just scrappy gunslingers. They're specially trained killing machines who work very well in a team and can handle all sorts of military equipment, including the vaunted Organotech bug zappers, bug bombs, and other ultra powerful weapons. Now, this is going to be start of a splicers thing too. Yes, that was not wrong earlier when someone said this kind of like splicers. It is. But this is your ex-army, ex-marine, has training in combat, has some experience in combat, and has survived years under bug oppression in the resistance. They are now exterminators. They are highly experienced, highly trained, and highly effective as long as they have some, you know, some prep work to do. Kind of like special forces. You know, you think of a commando and you're like, oh, he's like the greatest warrior ever. Not really. A commando is great in a situation they trained for. In a situation they don't train for, they're just a regular military guy.
Well, but I would still say that they have better quals and better ability to think through a situation than a standard military guy, but I do get what you're saying.
Yeah. And here's them killing bugs. Yeah, killing bugs dead. For me, that's a little close. I would have liked to kill
Especially,
them further away than that.
I would never want to shoot anything that close with a rifle, but yeah.
No, that's a shotgun.
I was looking at the dude with the M16.
Oh yeah, him, yeah, sure. But this guy, shotgun, I mean, close range is a shotgun deal, right? I get it. But I think you let him get a little too close, brother. That's a little too close for my comfort. And they're on a pile of dead bugs. That's great.
I'm getting a Doom vibe now. Okay,
Yeah,
the art in this book is telling me something, and I want you to tell me if this is true or not, because it will also jade my opinion one way or another what I think about this game when you're done. Obviously, that dude is a little over the top.
Yes.
Is this meant to be a 1980s caricature game, or kind of a Serious Sam type thing, or a Doom type thing, so to speak, where it is meant to be fun and over the top?
It is meant to be over the top, yes.
Okay.
For the explanation of the O.C.Cs and R.C.Cs, it is exaggerate to clarify type situation. You are exaggerating the general thought processes of these O.C.Cs because you want people to understand that you are pigeonholing yourself.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that as long as I know going in, like, hey, this isn't a serious bug killing game. This is not Starship Troopers the book. This is Starship Troopers the movie. Okay, you know what? As long as I know that going in, that doesn't bother me.
Think of it this way. And Coco Shuko says this is Punisher on bath salts. Yeah. Okay. Think of it this way. You remember Zombieland, right? No, you don't. Okay. Everyone else remembers Zombieland. You remember the main character, famous actor.
Is that the one with Woody Harrelson in it?
Woody Harrelson. Yes, Woody Harrelson.
Okay, I saw it one time.
Okay, yeah, there you go. He is a natural born zombie killer, right? He didn't know he was born for it. He's really good at it and he loves it and he takes it to an almost comical degree. It's kind of like the Exterminator is Woody Harrelson's character in Zombieland.
Okay.
All right. And what do they get? They get paired weapons and a modem. Let's read that.
Sure, I'd want something electronic.
It's paired weapons modern. It was it's a typo. I
can't. It's really small on the screen, so I can barely see it. So I was like, I don't think I would want a special modem because it has electricity in it. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bad PDF copy, huh?
Yeah, it's a typo. It's a typo. Don't worry about it. But you have paired weapons modern, which means you can have dual pistols, whatever, and not take as big a penalty. If the GM would like, you can include in systems failure stuff, powers from the gunfighter O.C.C, as in quick draw initiative, handguns and rifles, weapon proficiency, sharpshooting, and all that stuff in page 91 of New West. Yeah. You can do that. You can do that here. They give you that. And the skills work very much like Heroes Unlimited. You have skill programs. You roll for your basic education, and then you choose skill programs that are in line with your education. Those are the skills you get. And you get bonuses to those skills depending on your O.C.C. And next we have the freebooter. This is the guy, Vinny's pre-owned merchandise. You are the guy with the Connect. You are the guy that can get things. You need those D-cell batteries. Well, Jimmy the Fixer's got one.
If God didn't want us to eat animals, he wouldn't have made them out of meat.
Exactly. If anybody's going to make some money off this whole meltdown and bug hunt thing, it'll be these opportunists. Think of them as well-armed and sometimes well-intentioned merchants and snake oil salesmen who travel the Badlands looking for two things. One, any potentially valuable merchandise they can salvage or acquire cheap or trade for profit. And two, somebody to unload it on, preferably the paying variety. And actually preferably the stupid variety because, stupid people part with their money quite quickly. Freebooters are one of the few O.C.Cs that are welcomed by just about everyone because they almost always have something worth buying or trading for. See, this is the thing. People are scared. The wagons are circled. People are afraid. And especially now that they know that people they don't know could be bugs in disguise, it's trouble. But everyone's always going to let a freebooter come in because they need the new items. They need things. You can't just plant a garden and grow your own food anymore. Well, why not? Because while we don't have access to any satellites anymore, the bugs do. They're going to see a new farm being planted, send bugs there, kill everyone dead, and move on.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You have to be illegal pot growers. Basically, you have to grow shit in the basement. Hydroponics for the win. If you want to feed anyone, you can't do it outside anymore. So yeah, trade is important. And the freebooter can open a lot of doors for a playing group. It can get you a free meal, a free bed, or at least access to a paid meal and a paid bed rather than shoot you on site. And then we move on to the grease monkey. This is your mechanic. Everyone needs a mechanic. I mean, come on, look at her. Everyone needs her, right? Well, maybe not her. She's kind of bland, but but yeah, everyone needs a mechanic because you're not making new things anymore. That day is long gone. You are in Cuba refurbishing 1950s cars forever now. And that's exactly what you're doing, because the lower the tech the car, the better. Cars run electricity, which means that the bugs can stop them anytime they want. And if they jump into them, they can make sure they don't work for you. But guess what a 1956 Chevelle doesn't have? A gun or a tracking system or access to military satellites. So it's not inherently dangerous just to have, right? You're okay. It's a necessity. Wagons and carts and horses are probably better in the long run, but in the short term, from getting A to B really quick, you want that deuce and a half, right? You do.
It's the only thing with the power to carry it unless you have a lot of horses.
Yeah, you better have a lot of horses. But the thing is, having a lot of horses, having a farm, no good anymore, because it can be seen from a long way away. And then we move on to the peacekeeper. These are the lawmen. These are your town sheriff or your roving sheriff / judge if he walks a community, stuff like that. This keeps the peace to make sure people don't self-destruct under the stress of the bug society overlording over them. You still have to have laws. You still have to have people to enforce those laws. You can be that. Sawbones. This is your field medic / doctor. Now, the high universities don't work anymore, obviously, so no new specialist doctors are coming out of anything. But all of those specialist doctors have honed their craft into general medicine, and all of the general practitioners have honed their craft into target practice to make sure that they can survive in the field long enough to do any good. That's your Sawbones.
Where are all those holistic herbalists now?
They're all dead.
I would think that the holistic herbalist would be, look at this, natural remedies for everybody.
Natural remedies for everybody. Yeah, that's actually great. I have a problem with holistic medicine. Here's the problem with holistic medicine. And stop me if you heard it. Almost all medicines start off as holistic medicine, fueled by individuals' perception of what happened and society or superstition or whatever. And then it goes through rigorous testing, validation, and refinement, and then it becomes actual medicine. You know what can cure a headache? Chewing the bark of a certain tree. You know what will cure a headache? A Tylenol. That's the difference between holistic medicine and actual medicine. Does holistic medicine work? Sometimes, yes. Does it work anywhere near as effectively or with reliability as actual medicine? No, it does not. But
I mean, holistic medicine is also maggots, and that's pretty much a 100%.
Exactly. Max is not wrong. Holistic medicine is now used as medicine nowadays, but it's the stuff that's proven to work, not your grandma's superstition work.
I got you.
Proven to work. And we move on. But the Sawbones is mostly a medic.
I got you.
Splatterpunk.
Splatterpunk.
The word
Billy the Kid. Okay, got it.
and Punk pretty much sum up these two lowlives. The worst are murderous criminals. The majority are wild gun-toting yahoos who don't think law and morality applies to them. They have thrived in the chaos and have had a ball the last 10 years. These are the warlords or the warlords' men. These are the people who take chaos, embrace it in their hearts, and make sure the society never improves because they would lose their hierarchy in that society.
There's a typo in that Splatterpunk title there. Splatterpunk, and it says O.C.C. It should say NPC.
Yeah. It should, or in Palladium fashion, optional O.C.C. Which, if it says optional, don't use it. It says no. It just means no. Don't do it. Splatterpunk is mainly for the campaigns where you are starting in a completely lawless environment. Everyone's a splatterpunk if they've survived, and go on from there. But a splatterpunk is not going to get along with any of these other O.C.Cs. Look at them. You want to sleep next to this guy? No.
Again, going with the concept, though, that the game, everything is over the top caricature.
Yeah. So
I get it. I get it.
That's what this guy is, over the top. Then we have the survivalist. This is your general survivalist. He's a jack of all trades, master of none. He's good in urban environments. He's good in wilderness environments. He's good at tracking. He's good at hunting. He's good at evading. He's good at tactics, but not great at anything. If it were Rips, I'd say this is a headhunter or a wilderness scout. If you were in Palladium RPG, I'd say maybe he was a ranger. Stuff like that. He will get you from A to B, and he knows how to live through adversity. And he can bring other people with him into the realm of I survived. Right? So having him in your group, probably a good idea.
Like Seth MacFulton says, Bert from Tremors.
Right. Bert from Tremors. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, the NORAD psychic. Okay, here. I have a huge problem with this, but I'm gonna read it to you so you all know why I have a problem with this. Now, the first part is NORAD was hunkered down, and NORAD is a large facility. It's a self-contained city, basically. So when they closed the doors, made them energy proof so the bugs can't get in, they started trying to figure out ways to fight back. The first thing they tried was, conventional weapons, non-electronic stuff. That wasn't super effective. They wanted something super effective. They wanted the answer. And they thought, man, if we could produce psychics, we could do that. They knew psychic powers were real. They were just not weaponized yet. So they spent the last 9 years weaponizing psychic potential. And guess what?
It worked?
They almost made it.
Oh, almost.
The NORAD psychic is almost useful, but not. They fall into, I'm going to start right here. They fall into 3 basic types of psychic power. Physical, sensitive, and healing, with supersonic being a rarity. Most NORAD psychics are minor and major. Thus, most characters will learn all the powers of a single category before they diversify. Healers are super medics who provide support for combat and field teams. Sensitives use their abilities to locate bugs and sniff out silkworm zombies. And physical psychics are trained largely for pure combat. While this makes them super soldiers, it also makes them deficient in other sonic disciplines that can be just as vital for survival. So you have to choose your path.
Okay.
Choose your path. Unless you're a super psychic, a master psychic, and then you are a jack of all trades with the psychic community. You can do it all. Okay, but here is the problem. Here we go. O.C.C. abilities and bonuses. Psionics, special. Intensely trained in harnessing the incredible powers of the mind. Those recruited and trained by NORAD are typically major psionic, 46% chance on a D100, minor psionic, 50% chance, or 4% super psionic. I thought it was 6. It's 4. That means when you choose your psionic class, there's only one, these guys, you have to roll a percentile. You either suck, kind of okay, or good. But only a 4% chance of being good.
So is that, if you roll that 4%, Is there any sort of drop? Or let me rephrase it. If you roll the 50% minor,
Yep.
do you get any extra skill points or anything? I mean, I guess
you're asking, is there a trade-off?
Yeah.
Let's find out. Okay, let's see here. All NORAD trained minor psychics get the additional abilities of Mind Block and one of choice from whatever category has been designated as the character's area of specialty: healing, physical, and sensitive. So you get to choose one of 3 of your psychic categories, and you get Mind Block for free, which is a sensitive, but you get that for free, and then you get powers in one of these only. Major psychics get the additional abilities of Mind Block and 2 of choice from whatever category has been designated as the character's area of specialty: healing, physical, sensitive, or 1 from super psionic.
Okay.
But a master psychic, if you rolled that 4%, also known as super espers, are incredibly uncommon and available only as a special psychic OCC and only if the GM allows it.
Oh, so
It's
this
an
is
optional.
like that. So it's like
Not
that
only
mega hero or whatever it was called.
Yeah, no. Not only do you have to roll 4% on a D100, but the GM also has to say it's okay. But that means they must be super powerful, right? Well, let you decide. Such individuals get 6 powers from one of the 3 common psionic one of the 3 categories: healing, physical, sensitive, and 1 supersonic power. Unlike this is important. Unlike the others, this character gains additional psionic powers as he grows in experience. What? That means after the initial psychic power choosings of the minor and the major, they get nothing. Nothing. You have to be the optional roll 4% character class to actually be a normal Palladium psychic, not some nerfed little kid in a corner. That is crazy. Starting at level 2, you get to select 2 powers, blah, blah, blah. All right. The NORAD skill program is very specific. You are trained from a young age, so all of your skill programs are basically set for you. You don't get to choose. But I want to look at more powers type thing.
Can you see that? What's that downside that's right there?
What downside? Where?
Right on that page on the other side, right above the experience chart.
The downside. Oh, let's look at the upside first.
Okay.
I mean, let's give people hope and then take it away. Your psychic powers give you a unique edge in survival and the war against the bugs. You can sense where they have come and go, and you can also detect bugged humans better than anybody else, unless you're a physical psychic, making your abilities very much in demand. Independent psychics can profit greatly from careful use of their abilities. Here's the rub. Many people, not all, consider you to be an abnormal and a little bit frightening. Some warlords and bunker lords regard you as a mutant freak, while others try to exploit you for their personal gain, and the bugs hunt you relentlessly. NORAD psychics, your benefactor has gone through a great expense and time to train you in these abilities, and they expect to get their money's worth. Military life is restrictive and not always personally rewarding. You have to follow orders whether you like them or not. In the field and undercover, there's only so much protection your precious NORAD can provide. Notice how it didn't say a whole lot into how many powers they get, what powers they are, blah, blah, blah. Then there's the NORAD splicer. This is the worst.
Bug boy, super flag, grasshopper.
Yeah, this is, you take a human and you're like, a human compared to a bug is squishy and awful.
Okay.
Bugs have natural armor. Bugs have a load of SDC. They're super strong. They're super fast. They can basically teleport wherever electrical lines come and go. They can turn in energy to be immune to physical attacks. How do we fight that?
Fight fire with fire, baby. I love it.
Easy answer. Take a human being, splice bug DNA into him, make a super soldier, and set him out. Sounds like a plan,
Become the enemy you are fighting. That is what
that is the answer to all your problems. Yes, that is the answer. And you're not doing a Steve Rogers super soldier thing. No, you're not. Where's the picture of this guy? There he is.
Why am I getting Inve ideas here? Or vibes?
That's what you turn into. That's the human bug hybrid.
Sweet. I'm in.
Yep.
Nobody will think of me as a freak or anything.
Yeah. If you agree to this and you know this is how you will turn out, you have resigned yourself that if you win, you will be put down. If the humans win, you will be killed.
And you're done procreating.
Yeah, no procreating. No, they yank off your genitals like an angry chimp. No. You are not going to be able to procreate. You're not going to be allowed to procreate. You're not even going to allow to have a human woman because that's gross. After the war is over, you're going to be a depleted uranium round. You are to be cleaned up and disposed of as soon as humanly possible. But up until then, during the fight, you get some perks. Now, one of these perks is not great. It's horror factor. All splicers have a horror factor of 10 plus 1d4. That's no joke. This can be a good or a bad
22.
Thing. Yeah, depending on the character is. Note that bugs are immune to the effects of horror factor, just as no splicer is going to be freaked out by the appearance of another splicer. The characteristics only affect humans. You are only scary to the people you're supposed to be protecting. That is not a good start. Not a good start. This pretty much guarantees that after the war is over, you're going to be taken up behind the woodshed and shot. Natural armor, AR 8 plus 1d4. Bugs have an AR of 12 plus 1d4, so you got some bug armor, but it's not the good kind. Chemical susceptibility. Because splicers are bugs' genetic structure, they are vulnerable to the chemical weapon nicknamed bug juice, an organotech insecticide that causes a bug's cellular structure to break down upon contact. This is very much, bug killer, raid on steroids. It's raid on steroids. But since you are genetically similar to bugs, it affects you as well. Not as badly, but still, you don't want to get it, on your carapace or skin or whatever you call your body nowadays. Rapport with bugs. Splicers can hear
that first thing on the next page. Are you kidding
me?
No
going back.
Did that actually have to be said?
Yeah, that apparently it did. Splicers can hear the telepathic conversations and transmissions of other bugs and can speak to them in their own bug telepathy. Half the range of normal bugs, but still you can do that. That's not going to cause fear from normal humans either anyway. No going back. The doppelganger process is a one-way trip. Those who undergo it will never be fully human again. Perhaps this is something that will change in the future. No, it won't. Revisions of the process, but for now, splicers undergo a permanent transformation. Permanent until you die. And then no one cares because you're dead. The thing is, if you're not going to be killed by a bug, you're definitely going to be killed by a human. That's the way you decided to go.
This is worse than the juicer.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of suicide pact.
And what do you expect in this world? You expect the wacko.
Is this crazy?
Yep. Who knows what motivates and drives these strange individuals? Most are poorly educated, superstitious, and narrowly focused or obsessed. We all have strange and often annoying habits, personal rituals, idiosyncrasies, and twitches. How and why they are the way they are is anyone's guess. Some suffer from physical trauma, psychic trauma, emotional trauma. Others are a product of their environment, the horrors of war, or unique philosophy and or outlook on the world, and so on. Basically, you're the crazy without any of the really cool powers of a crazy.
Just all the drawbacks?
Yeah. Obsessions, killing and or undermining the bugs, plus roll one random obsession. Not great. Wacky luck. Most are superstitious and will have a lucky medallion, coin, jacket, shirt, hat, or whatever. The item has special significance and is always worn or carried, especially into dangerous or important situations. Even if it's broken, they'll still carry it. Most have little superstitions or idiosyncrasies. They spit in their hand or on the ground before going into combat, cracks your knuckles before a fight or when nervous, slaps your head, chest weapon 3 times before attacking, shooting, rubs or scratches his chin, nose, or whatever. They have weird
tics
that they have to do. Always shouts, mumbles, whatever. Always stops annoying habit and or a mindset. Okay, it gives you a range. If you don't want to choose, you get to roll. All right, but what does it do? What does it do for you? That's what I want to know. And guess what? Nothing. It doesn't say. After it goes through all the shit, it says, look, 9700, outspoken and says what he feels regardless of the consequences. Doesn't have a diplomatic bone in his body. Okay, so what is the upside for having that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No powers,
No powers, no
bonuses.
ability, no bonus, no minus, no nothing. It's just something stupid you have to do because you're shithouse rat crazy. That's it.
Skill programs, any one of choice related. There's got to be something in there.
You'd think, right? Let's see. Anything special? Upside. Nobody takes you seriously, so they and the enemy tend to underestimate you. Sometimes you feel like a cunning secret agent or a superhero who saved the day. That's because you're crazy. You're actually worthless.
The downside, nobody takes
you seriously, and you're often treated like the village idiot and or avoided for being strange or a little scary. Sometimes you feel alone and sad. No, you don't feel alone and sad. You are alone and sad. And that's it. Yep. That's it. So the O.C.Cs here are not something you'd really writing home about. You know, they're not something that blows my skirt up or anything. Okay, they're not special. And against the bugs, which we're gonna look at right now, you're on the losing side. All right, it's the losing fight. So let's move on to the bugs, and we'll see what you're fighting against. The bugs. Let's look at the different types of bugs. The bug hierarchy: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on. Tier 1 is the army ant. This is an all-purpose combat bug, the frontline troops who have spearheaded the invasion and function as a bug's first line of defense. 80% of all bugs on the earth are army ants, with the various tier 2 bugs comprising 17% and tier 3 lightning bugs making the final 3%. Like humans,
only 3 types of bugs?
3 types of bugs, that's it. Well, 3 tiers of bugs. Tiers. Okay. Like humans, army ants, and all bugs for that matter, are individuals capable of free thought and self-determination. They do not have a hive organism. They do not possess a group consciousness. That being said, they're very closely bound by the overwhelming urge to gorge themselves on high doses of energy, much like an army of drug addicts might be united, if chaotically so, in their unifying urge to get another fix. Army ants are the same way. As long as they have strong leaders to help organize and direct them, they happily cooperate and work together as a finely tuned military machine capable of defeating almost any opposition. However, remove their leaders, the army ants quickly lose direction, suffer from indecisiveness, and are more easily bluffed and intimidated. Okay. So, they basically made bugs into drug addicts. All right? Fine. That's great. That's cool. Each bug is its own person, but they all have a common culture of injecting electricity into their bodies to get high. Okay, great. That's awesome.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. Okay, but all of them, they are bugs, so the variation in them is very, very minute. There's not a whole lot of genetic deviation, so there's not a whole lot of range to their stats, which makes sense. They're all basically the same. 32 hit points, 100 SDC, 12 natural armor, horror factor 10. Okay. You know, that's against a normal person, which almost every O.C.C is. This is going to win. You have to overwhelm them with numbers of the O.C.Cs in this game to defeat a single bug. For every bug, there has to be two or three player characters to win reliably. 2 bugs, you're going to need 4 or 5. 3 bugs, it goes up from there, okay? And there's millions of these things. Now, what can they do? Well, let's see. Natural army ant abilities. Bioenergy conversion. Army ants can transform their bodies into a coherent pulse of concentrated bioenergy. When in this form, the bug can enter any conventional electric or electronic interface, like a socket in the wall, a modem, disk drive, headphone socket on a computer, whatever, and enter the device. Army ants use this ability to access electrical cable or telephone hardlines so they can travel along their lengths at nearly the speed of light. Or they may enter an electrical device to control it from the inside. They especially love doing this to high-tech vehicles like fighters and tanks. See Machine Union. Once converted into bioenergy, an army ant must enter a device or hardline or it will dissipate and die within 1d4 rounds. So that's the only downside to their turn into electricity power. They have 1d4 melee rounds to either enter a device or turn back, or they accidentally kill themselves.
So how far away can they be from that outlet?
I think we're going to get to that.
Okay.
It takes one melee action or attack for an army ant to convert to bioenergy, and another melee action to enter an electronic device or electrical hardline. It can remain in a hardline indefinitely and zip all over the place, however. The bug quickly gets frustrated, hungry, and bored, so most like to exit as soon as possible. When a hardline is used to travel to a new destination, the bug reaches the destination within 1d4 seconds if within 5,000 feet. One melee round if within 1,000 miles. It needs an outlet or receiver at the other end to come out. Further, unless there's a tier 2 bug to lead the way, army ants are likely to get lost when traveling more than 100 miles. They're not smart. All right, they're not super smart. Note, multiple army ants can interface the same socket or hardline simultaneously. Thus, a couple of hundred bugs could enter or exit the same wall socket at once. It's crazy. It doesn't say how far away.
I'm just curious. I'm not trying to get really like, if we keep him more 4.6 feet away, but I mean, does he have to be standing next to it, or can he do it across like my room here? Yeah.
I think I would adjudicate this as he has to be able to touch the machine.
Okay, that's fair. And what's kind of cool about that is that somebody else at another table can adjudicate it differently. If I can see it, I can go into it because treat it like a dive or whatever. I wouldn't do that. I would be like Heathen Dog, but yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because the way they describe their movement through electrical wires is they all go in at once and all come out at once, right? So for an electrical outlet, maybe they don't need to touch it. Maybe they do have to be just within a certain range and they can jump to it. That's fine. I would say if you want to enter a machine that does not have an obvious access port, like a plug or a whatever, you'd have to touch it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would do that. Machine Union. And if you do get inside a machine, you can now control it. Everything the machine can do, the bug can do. Now, that doesn't mean that they jump into every machine and they can do everything the machine can do. No, because a lot of times machines require a human operator to do something before it can do what it has to do. For example, if a machine enters a car, it depends on how electronic that car is. If it's a 1950 Chevelle, without power steering, without fuel injection, without that stuff, all it can do is make the car turn on and turn off, and that's it. Can't steer the car, can't make the car go, can't make the car stop, because that's all mechanical action.
Oh, it can mess with the radio. It can change my radio station.
The radio, yes. It can mess with the radio. It can't even roll up and down the windows because that's normal. That's hand crank.
Well, you know what? Radios were knobs, and so all he could do is turn my radio station to static.
On and off. Exactly.
Jerk.
That's all I can do. On and off. The car on and off. Radio on and off. Air conditioning on and off. That's it. But as cars get more electronic, it will have more and more control. Like my car, for example, does not have a physical connection between the steering wheel and the axle. There is a mechanical brake where servos and actuators are used on both sides to make the car turn left and right. That means if a bug got into my car, it could safely drive my car or unsafely drive my car if it wants to. Raise and lower the windows, change the radio station, turn on and off the AC, accelerate, brake, all that stuff is done electronically. So when a bug enters a device, you as the game master have to decide how much control that bug actually has. Like if it's a jackhammer, that bug can turn on and off the jackhammer. That's it. The bug can't jackhammer anything because it takes a person holding it to do that.
Yeah, but you got bug people.
But a nuclear bomb, the bug can just make it go boom.
Yep.
Because all of that is an electronic function.
There's some physical components to that. I'd have to.
There are some physical components, but if you had perfect control of the system electronically, I believe you could make it go off. Because at the very end, it's an electrical signal that causes it. At the very end. I mean, maybe that's not true. That's fine, but it's a game. You don't have to be hyper realistic. Stuff like that. But if a bug enters a fighter jet, it is so automated that bug has full control of that fighter jet and can do anything that fighter jet could do with a pilot. Because it's electronically controlled everything.
Was it the F-117 or is it the B-2? One of those, it makes like 100 calculations a second because otherwise it couldn't
Just to
fly.
stay in the air. Yeah, just to stay in the air. That's the army ant.
But can you go back? Oh, sorry, I don't want to delay this, but can you go up for one more thing? It said psionics. We don't have to read about all the psionics.
Oh, right, yeah.
Psionic
they have
powers too.
They have special, but all bugs are considered minor psionics and can communicate with fellow members of their own species at no ISP cost. They can communicate with humans at a range of 2,000 feet, but it costs ISP. And then it says bugs have some same trouble reading the thoughts, emotions of human telepaths, blah, blah. Only time there's only a 25% chance of successfully intercepting bug telepathy or reading their minds. That's if you are a NORAD psychic and you are a sensitive. You can use telepathy to kind of try and infiltrate the bug psychic network. But you only have a 25% chance of doing that because their thought process is so alien that you don't get it. It's all gobbledygook nonsense. So that's their special psionic power. They can speak with each other psionically.
Okay.
And then we have the assassin bug. NORAD eggheads believe the assassin bugs rank the lowest among the tier 2 bugs, perhaps because their specialization is not added firepower, but the ability to perform stealth missions using natural camouflage. That's basically what they are. They're infiltrators and assassins. Okay. The bugs who are controlling satellites see cows are being what's the word? Husbanded. I don't forget it. Being raised. Horses are being raised. Crops are being grown. And so we need to see where the people are that are doing this because we didn't order it, which means they're free. You send in an assassin bug as a scout spy or assassin or whatever, and he gets the information, brings it back. The army bugs come in, kill everybody, and now we're gold. That's what they do. Chameleon, they have the special chameleon power. It helps them change color and texture in order to blend into their environment. That's their special ability. Other than that, they're really no different than the army ant.
Creepy looking.
Bombardier beetle.
Oh, yay.
These frightful juggernauts are the bug's equivalent of a heavy tank or artillery piece.
Of course.
Devoted to causing physical damage to hard targets and smashing through enemy defenses rather than stealth, trickery, or infiltration. Makes sense. Let's see how tough they are. 250 SDC and an AR of 14.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
What's its long range attack?
That's what I'm going to do. Oh, God.
I don't want to see that.
I don't like it.
Yep. How tall is it?
I will find that out too. Doesn't say here. It might say in the description at the end. Okay. All their special bioenergy bombs. Here we go. The Bombardier does not have blasters like most bugs, but possess the unique ability to create bioenergy bombs. The creation of each bomb counts as 2 melee actions and involves creating a sphere of energy out of thin air. The sphere of swirling blue or violet energy appears between the beetle's 2 open claws. Each sphere is about the size of a grapefruit and can be handled by the beetle without them going off, but will instantly explode when touched by most non-bug life forms. The Bombardier can throw, roll, or drop the energy sphere and allow it to go off on impact like a hand grenade, or place them like shaped charges and made to go off with a mental command from the beetle or upon being touched by non-bug life. Throwing range 200 feet. Damage 1d6 times 10 to the target directly impacts and 2d6 damage to everything within 10 feet. Cost 2 actions per round. They never run out of bombs. They just keep going. And that's their shtick. That's their thing.
And throwing range is 200 feet. I mean, that isn't that far. So, I mean, I thought it was going to be much more
pretty
powerful.
far for a throw. I mean, compared to a human, but compared to an artillery piece, no, it's bullshit. Physical appearance. Bombardier beetles look like a cross between a huge black beetle and a gorilla. They're partially bipedal with a pair of short, powerful legs. However, when running, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say their exact height, but if you're going with gorilla size. Let's go with gorilla size.
Okay.
And then we have the killer bees.
So the dogs or the bees or dogs with bees in their mouths.
There you go. They're combat leaders and aerial specialists, but they possess a vicious streak, unusual even for bugs. It is common knowledge that the bugs are here purely to feed. For most bugs, the war against humanity is only because humans refuse to let them take the planet without a fight, making combat necessary. Killer bees, however, are different. They hunt and kill humans as both part of their job as defenders of bug towns and power centers, and for the pure thrill of bloodletting.
Oh, nice. So the psychopaths.
Yes. That's what they do. That's all they kill and they eat. Other bugs eat and then kill. Their priorities are different. But what special power do they have? They have 2 bioenergy blasters, fundamentally the same as the Army-An ability, but the killer bee has 2 articulated weapon stocks over its shoulders that house the blasters. These stock-mounted shoulder blasters can move up and down an 180-degree firing arc and 220-degree swing of fire. They can also be positioned to shoot around or over walls and obstacles, shooting blind without the killer bee showing its body. Superior range of 2,000 feet. 5d6 from a standard blast, but it can also fire twin simultaneous blasts for 1d6 times 10, which is the same as a bug bomb. Winged flight. It can fly mighty wings, impossible to miss within 600 feet. It can be heard up to 2,000. The buzz can be heard up to 2,000 feet away. It has bioregeneration. It will regrow a wing, weapon stock, or appendage that is lost in combat. However, it takes 1d4 plus 4 weeks to regrow a stock, more to regrow a limb, and even more to regrow.
Yeah, but the fact that it can
is bad. Bonuses, whatever. Average lifespan 30 doesn't matter. They're going to outlive all the humans. Stink bug.
I don't want no.
There's a stink bug. The bug invasion is a 2-pronged offensive. The first dramatic and first notice was the outright capture of the global electric nervous system, of hard lines and communication lanes, as well as the deactivation or capture of most of the world's military hardware. As devastating as this was, humans could fight it and had a reference for the conflict. It was not until a few years later, after the meltdown, that people began to understand the bugs were not just hijacking our technology or energy sources, but our very bodies as well. These bugs responsible for the insidious aspect of the war are reviled as stink bugs. They vaguely resemble praying mantis. They are not particularly well suited for direct combat themselves, but are perfectly evolved for mass pacification of humans. The stink bug is able to generate or lay what humans call the silkworm. That's the brain bug. The creature gets its name from the natural defense mechanism of foul-smelling chemical spray that incapacitates opponents. It is not good in a fight, but it poops out brain bugs which enslave humanity.
I like how it has an alignment.
And if it does get scared, it poops. Oh, its alignment is what? A bear?
Diabolic.
Oh, diabolic. Oh, that makes sense. All right, makes sense. Perfectly fine. The lowest SDC of all the bugs so far, 50.
Yeah, but it has that natural defense. You don't want to fight it.
Yeah, normal natural AR is 8, also much less, but still there. Let's see what their superpowers are. Climb and adhere to surfaces. I'm not going to read that. Let's just say Spider-Man. Chemical attack. Nearly 40% of the stink bug's physiology is devoted to the production and storage of toxins that can be unleashed as a chemical spray. Mind-numbing gas. This is where the humans are taken to a detention facility, and then these stink bugs blow out happy juice from their butts. You smell it, and you become docile and happy and all that stuff. Stink spray. This is, stink bomb. It's a stink bomb. Smells like 100 rotten eggs all rolled into one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not having any flashbacks to that Monopoly game.
No, it's fine. Anesthetic spray. Incredibly potent and concentrated spray that will knock out humans and effectively anesthetize them for 1d4 hours.
I think that's enough time to get a worm in your nose.
Yep. And speaking of that, silkworm/grub generation. Producing silkworms is the second part of the stink bug's purpose. The average stink bug can produce, wait for it,
What?
2d6 times 50 silkworms every 3 months. Each silkworm is a small, wormy, or larva-like thing that can fit in the palm of a hand and goes in your nose. That's bad, right? Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in my happy place right now.
And then there's the silkworms that on their own, they're not really an enemy. It's just once they get in you, then you're done. Here's the deal. You have 8 plus a random number of hours to get that silkworm out of your buddy's brain. That's how long you have.
How do you do that? Like Total Recall style? Just put something up there and yank?
Yeah. That's one way to go. The other way is like open brain surgery. You do that too. The thing is, even like a silkworm goes up your buddy's nose. He is on the operating table. 3 seconds later, the doctor pulls him out. You still have damage from that. Here's what happens. Here we go. Silkworm seizes control over its host in a matter of minutes. However, it takes approximately 8 plus 1d6 hours for the silkworm to completely destroy your host personality. If you take it out beforehand, if removed in under 4 hours, the victim suffers no significant brain damage. Reduce IQ by 1. I think reduction is significant, but maybe that's just me.
Does he become a wacko?
No.
Oh.
If removed 4 to 8 hours after being implanted, reduce IQ, ME, and MA by 1d4 points, and the player can roll once with the result being the same for all attributes, or roll each. That's super significant. And then double the penalties, 2d4, if removed after 8 hours, but before the end of that extra d6. Physical beauty may be reduced by 1d4.
Character.
Or just make a new character. Physical beauty may be reduced as well, depending on the skill of the surgeon. You know, if you had to do open brain surgery and the doctor screwed up your sutures, then you got this giant scar across your head. Sucks. But 8 plus 1d6 hours after the worm enters your brain, you're done. You are done. Personally, if you don't get it out of me within the first couple of hours, just shoot me in the brain.
So I have two issues. Stay right here. I have 2 issues with this worm. Number 1, I think it should turn you into a wacko. And number 2, it says natural AR of the worm itself 4. That's everything in the game, Kevin.
Yep.
That's every Palladium game. Why is that line there? I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it bothers me.
It bothers me too. Yeah, I get it. Yep. So the bug thing, it pretty much you get a bug in them, you just shoot them. You just shoot them. Because who knows what kind of horrible pain and existential suffering that they're going through for the next 8 hours. Who knows? It can't be great. Kill them. Kill them dead. And then there's the tier 3. This is the commander, the lightning bug.
There's still more bugs.
This is the last one. The lightning bug is the top tier commander, the toughest bugs of the swarm, spending much of their time feeding, interfacing directly with large energy sources like the hearts of power plants and nuclear reactors. They are the only ones that can maintain pure energy conversion and function outside of a containment medium, which makes them very, very difficult to kill. They're the only bugs that can stay energy as long as they want. As long as you're energy, you cannot be harmed by any physical attack.
Does EMP work on that nonsense?
No.
Oh.
Super bioenergy conversion. Fundamentally the same as the army and ability, except unlike the bugs, you can function in energy form. However, fly, strike out with their claws, and fire their bioblasts. And a suicide energy attack that does 1d4 times 1,000 damage.
What?
Yeah, no, these bugs
Well,
are
it
never
does
going
say
to do that.
suicide. It
Yeah,
says okay.
suicide attack. Their bugs aren't going to do that. These are the presidents and prime ministers of bugs. They're not going to sacrifice their own life. They're going to sacrifice everyone else's first. The energy form can be maintained for a total of 1d4 times 10 plus 60 minutes per 24 hours. That's a lot. It's a lot of minutes. Limited vulnerability when they're in energy form. Machine union, bioenergy flight. The lightning bug can hover and fly while in energy form at a speed of Mach 1. Maximum altitude of 20,000 feet. Bioenergy blasters. They only have one of them. Here it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd hit it. No, I wouldn't.
With what, a baseball bat?
Yeah, there you go. Dimensional breach. This is how they got to our world. The most powerful yet least understood lightning bug ability appears to be its power to sense existing dimensional portals, look through them to other worlds, and travel. The only time several lightning bugs gather, 5 or more, is to use their combined dimensional abilities to open a dimensional portal to another world, typically at a ley line junction or place of known magic. When the portal is open, they and all their bug legions, with the exception of silkworm zombies, in unison turn into energy and vanish through the portal. That's how they got here. The lightning bugs, 5 of them gathered together, opened a portal, and 1 million bugs went through to our world, and then we died. I mean, we're going to die. That's how they win. Because they win. That's just it. Don't know the average lifespan. Doesn't matter. We're not going to live to see them die. So it's fine.
The average lifespan is until we shoot it.
Basically, yes. So that is it. Those are the O.C.Cs and R.C.Cs of System Failure RPG. And they all make sense. You know, the human O.C.Cs make sense. The psionic O.C.C does make sense because psionics not only is new in this society, but it was fast tracked through drugs and genetic manipulation. So I get it. And the bugs are they're a little bit of, I don't know, two-dimensional, I think. Not a lot there. No layers to this onion, but they're serviceable as enemies. Really, the best enemy in this game so far is the silkworm humans, the human zombies. They're the scariest. What do we got for comments?
All right. Yeah, after the comments, I've got a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
On this, should be like Dead Rain, but with bugs.
That's what the silkworms do, basically. I mean, it's not, it's more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with bugs that don't have to take over your body.
World ended in 1999. He's dual wielding 56K. This is for the
that's for the typo. Yeah, that's funny. That's
dual
funny.
wielding
like
56K modems to summon bugs.
Yeah, that was funny. That's good.
Systems failure is the B movie Apocalypse. Dead Rain is Grim Dark Apocalypse. That's actually, maybe I'll make my comment. I'll make my comment now because I think that hits the part of what I want to see. If I wanted to play a serious conspiratorial game, I would do something like Call of Cthulhu, and if I want to homebrew it, I could homebrew that into the future, right?
Sure.
If I want to play something a little more tongue-in-cheek, Paranoia. I see this game as kind of the Paranoia version of Nightbane.
The bridge in between Nightbane and Paranoia would be Systems Failure.
Yeah. And when I take it like that, very little of what you've said about this game bothers me. My normal reaction is to play a more serious style game. You've played with me enough. You know how I don't like tongue-in-cheek games so much, although Paranoia is a weird exception to that. I like games that are more down-to-earth, more serious. And in that regard, yeah, I'm not sold. But outside of that, like, hey, this could be fun to play for a couple months while we're in between real games or something like that. I could see myself playing this game, on and off. But the other thing is I want to say about the psionics, it doesn't bother me because I'm used to Palladium Books. I'm used to Kevin saying game masters can say yes or no. Plus, it's written right in there. You can say yes or no. And having things that aren't balanced has never been an issue with Palladium. They've always got things that aren't balanced if you go strictly by the numbers. But it's a more cinematic style. So all of that together doesn't. None of this game so far bothers me. It's my favorite, no, but none of it bothers me. Really, the only thing that does is the aspect of it being very similar to Splicers. That extreme, don't touch anything electronic ever. It's not quite as bad as Splicers, but that's the one thing that irked me about Splicers too. I think silkworms see psychics as yummy snack. Is that?
Yeah, you know what? I would think so too, but it didn't say either way whether a silkwormed psychic still retains his psionic powers. There's arguments both ways. There's argument both ways.
Okay.
Personally, I would say during the 8 plus 1d6 hours, no. Because the resident consciousness still can be saved, which means it's still there. But after the resident consciousness has been devoured by the silkworm, I would say yes. Now he has access to psychic abilities. But that's just me. Any game master could do it any other way. Or if it says somewhere in the book where I missed yes or no, then you of course take that. But I would adjudicate it like that.
Okay. I click. There you go. A ton of manga. I forget what this is about now.
I wish I knew because now I can't answer it properly.
Yeah, maybe he'll post in chat. Max won't even let silkworm bugged humans into his town. Do you think he's letting a bug hybrid through the gates? Not a chance.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that bug hybrid. Nope.
You are the enemy.
Only good bug is a dead bug, and your mama decided the only good bug was one I lay down with. So guess what? I'm gonna kill you and your mama.
You can be a whack job and stay in character. That's the point of the whack job. It's like, what's the point of
the whack job? You can be wacky and be playing the game properly. That's the only bonus to being a wacko.
So, can sniffing glue or huffing gas stop the worm when it's put in your nose? You're already your
brain's already gone.
Yeah, you're anesthetized anyway.
Yeah.
Remember, they anesthetize you before you get to this point.
It's true. And
are you guys going to cover this Paranoia game one day? I've actually got a video out there already on Paranoia Second Edition
from the Legion Myth live stream. I did Paranoia Second Edition.
Okay, I need to find that. I'll put it in the same playlist because. But with that said, as part of here, have Max's crap giveaway when we hit 5,000. I'm giving away my Mongoose version of it because I hate it. I don't like Mongoose as a company, and it's what's it called, like Paranoia Red Box Edition or something like that. I forget what it's called, but that'll be part of that giveaway.
Okay.
But it is something we could cover, but let's check those two videos to make sure we wouldn't just be repeating that. And worst case scenario, I'll put it in. Oops, I can't take that off the screen. Here, we'll put the super chat back up and now back down. All right. Okay, yeah, that's it for this one. That was kind of a long one, but that's because you had a twofer in there. You had bugs and OCCs. So right. Like, subscribe, share. If you like Heathen Dog's longer videos, and if you don't like his longer videos, like, subscribe and share because he's about to have a shorter one, I think. So we'll check that out in just a moment when he talks about adventure ideas.